Hi guys, this is week 26 Project Life, and it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I've got no kits to use, so I thought I would do a 5 favorite things video. And I want to try and create this page as like one whole spread rather than a pile of different cards. So that's my intention. Let's see what I'm working with. I grabbed a bunch of 12 by 12 pattern papers. I have some alphas, some tiny word stickers, some puffy hearts, of course, and the in review stamp from Feed Your Craft. So I've got my photos all laid out where I want them, and I'm just going to pick one of these papers. Now, all of them are rainbow. That was my theme for the month, so those were the papers I picked out. And I'm going to go with this one here because it's a slightly more muted tones. They're not as bright as the other ones, so I think it matches my photos a little bit better. We're still in winter here, so my photos are still really dark, not light and bright like I'd prefer them, so this paper definitely works better than the others. So I'm going to use this paper through my whole page, but because it's in pockets I do need to split it down first. So I'm just using my paper trimmer and my photo there as a guide just to make sure I'm getting it 4 inches wide, high, and 6 inches wide, and then I'm just going to trim out these pieces. Now I don't need all of them, so I'm just trimming a couple of them down, and I'll leave one longer strip, which means I'll be able to use it on a layout at some point. And this strip here I'm going to trim down into 3 by 4 pieces, although I only need a few of them anyway. So I'm just laying it out and making sure that I'm laying them in the right order so that the stripes continue from top to bottom. And I think I'm going to skip out that third card there. I do want to do something a little bit different there, and I think this is where the stamp's going to come in handy. It's got this really awesome stripes to create your own journal card down the bottom. So I grabbed my big block and I'm going to stamp on just some white card. And I want to carry on the rainbow theme, of course, so I'm going to use one of these ombre inks, and I'm sort of carefully inking it up and stamp it down. And you can't really tell here on camera, but in real life that stamp is horrendously dirty, so I am going to spend a little bit of time cleaning that up. So I've cleaned up my stamp as best as I can. It is quite stained with StazOn ink, so I find probably the best way to clean it is using another ink on top. So I used some of my Hero Arts inks. Those are the best I find. I just ink it up, stamp it off, ink it up, stamp it off, and then I did give the thing a really good scrub with my chamois as well. And so now I can actually start stamping how I intended it. And this third time was the one I got that I liked the best. What I really wanted was to have that bright yellow fading down to the pink with the ink that I had there. I was just being careful as I inked it up that as I moved towards the top and the bottom of the stamp, I sort of tipped the ink pad so that only that top stripe and the bottom stripe was hitting the actual stamp. So that's how I got that really clean ombre look, despite my ink pad not being quite tall enough to make it. So I just trimmed that down to a 3 by 4, and now I can get on with putting this layout together, but you can see it's going to come together really quickly. My tape runner does not stick very well to these Instax photos, so I did just add a couple of tiny attacher staples as well. And then that is my third photo stuck down, and I'm ready to get working. So I'm going to start with my title card. And I'm going to add my title in with these black glittery thickers that I had in my stash. Now you'll see me this time, I don't do this very often, do I? I'm actually being really careful not to stick them down. I want to space them out properly so that they go all the way across this card. So it does take me a little while to tweak them into place. And then I realized I'm going to need a label for my date stamps. And I had these LE Studio ones that I grabbed from the stamp spot, and they had almost perfect colors. So I picked out a teal one, and I'm just adding that in just slightly under the alphas, which means I then do have to rearrange them once again, and then I can stick them down and date stamp my label, which I managed to do really poorly, but I'm not going to pull everything up and try and restick a label over the top. I'm just going to live with my crappy stamping. Instead of drawing a little heart this week, I'm going to use these puffy stickers, and you'll see I've finally acquired myself a new pair of tweezers, which makes life so much easier. And that's my title card all done, and I can carry on with the rest of my page. Now, this photo here, I split it in Photoshop, so it's 2 3x4 photos just printed onto one 4x6. We had a really huge yard cleanup, and the difference was quite dramatic enough for me to remember to take a before and after photo. And so all I'm doing to this one is just adding those LE Studio white letter stickers before and after to each side of the photo. And again, those tweezers make that job much easier. Now they're from EK Success, and I just grabbed them from scrapbook.com, and I'm going to use them again on this photo as well. Again, I'm using these letters from LE Studio. These are little green ones, tealy colored green, and that went with the color scheme of my page. So I'm just adding a tiny little title on the bottom of this photo. I decided to do my journaling through my typewriter, and I had a heck of a job with it, guys. This card was much thicker than I would normally put through my typewriter, and it fought me every step of the way. I did finally manage to get it through. It's a little bit rough around the edges from that typewriter, but I managed to flatten it out okay, and then just added a little puffy heart to the top of that to fill in that sort of white space. So while I've got the puffy hearts out, I added a couple more to my title card, and I really liked that kind of tone-on-tone look. So that's probably how I'm going to attempt to do the rest of the puffy hearts on this spread. But before I did that, I wanted to add a few of these tiny word stickers. I had picked out these ones, and I think they're originally from Citrus Twist, and they're some of the worst tiny word stickers I've ever used. They're not trimmed apart properly, and so when you try to peel them off, it peels the top layer off rather than the sticker. It's incredibly frustrating. But these little pink ones, which I think were from, I'm sure they're really old, from Studio Calico, much better. And so you can see I added the extra teal heart on the photo of Lily there, and again just keeping that tone-on-tone look. And I really only need to pick out a couple more little word phrases to go on my selfie photo here, enjoying a much needed break in the sunshine. It is winter here, but we have had a really lucky streak lately with some really gorgeous wintry days, and the sun just streams into my room in the afternoon, and sometimes I just can't help but sit there and soak it all in. Adding just a few more hearts to this photo of Lil, and then I can pretty much call this week all done. It's been so long since I've done one of these 5 favorite things challenges, and I just love how this sort of whole page look came together. Plus, got to sneak in a rainbow spread for July, which I'm always pleased about. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye!